What's up, guys? I'm Robert.
I'm Roy Air.
And we are here at the Just Rum tasting facility
in
Sandy, Oregon. It's just a tasting room, just a distillery. It's just rum.
And we're here today.
We're going to go check it out. We're going to take you guys on the quick tour of the building and let you guys see a little bit of what Just Rum has got going on.
This is so exciting.
Look at this.
I'm loving this.
Oh my
Look
goodness.
at this.
They've got a sign on the wall. We don't even have a sign, Roy Air. We're basically in the basement.
You gotta take my picture. Take my picture.
Taking it. Oh, here it comes.
Take my picture.
You look so good here.
I know, right?
My camera angle can't fit you in though. It's just not working.
It's the personality. It's that big.
It's that big. For those of you who have been watching our channel, we have reviewed several of Just Rum's rums as they've been sent. Just Rum's rums. You see how that comes off the top?
Oh yeah.
And we have been getting a lot of those out. They have new products coming out. We've been checking them out, and they have expanded to a new distillery and tasting room right here in Sandy, Oregon.
Right here.
We are going to get the pleasure to take you guys through.
Can you believe it? Can you believe
here.
it? So we're actually here
on the Oregon Trail.
We made it.
We're doing it. I don't even have any diseases.
Well, not yet.
Yeah, it's true. It's the beginning of the journey.
trip's not over.
See, but we got rum to keep us healthy.
Well, that is true.
Let's take you guys through and check it out.
Come on.
Really started out, I had an idea of a copper top bar. I don't know why, I just
Love
did.
this.
So
Yeah,
this
I love
was the basis that we designed everything else around. That led to the brick wall, the copper shelves, copper tubing and what have you. The barrels are obviously inspired by barrel aging. Yeah, so I wanted to kind of make it feel old school, but still be warm, welcoming. And I think we did that for the space that we have. We have ciders. This is from Boring Cider Company. We keep 12 of them on tap.
Nice.
We do have 2 beers we don't advertise.
Okay.
Stone Light and some generic IPA because some people want a beer. Okay.
Now,
Sure.
I also noticed the wine up here.
Oh yeah, the
as well.
wine is also from Boring Cider Company. Cideries are wineries by the TTB, so he makes ciders in a traditional way, and then those wines, and they're pretty good. They got great names.
So does it stop there? Do you have food here?
We've got food. We've got a full
Really?
menu: pizzas, paninis. Grilled cheese sandwich, probably one of the best. We use 3 different types of cheese in the grilled cheese sandwich. Little cup of tomatoes.
I do love multiple cheeses in my grilled cheese.
That sounds
I
delicious.
like that.
I'm just gonna tell you.
So yeah, it's a small kitchen area, so we can't really do a whole lot, but we try to do, good food, good drinks, great cocktails. They don't have to, people don't have to just sip the rum. We have lemon drops, we have grog, we have El Presidente, we've got batitas, a ton of other drinks.
I mean, look at this. So we've got some just cocktails and ciders here.
I gotta tell you, I had a chance
looks
to
amazing.
sample. I had a chance to sample the hot buttered rum yesterday.
Oh,
That's the
you
best.
have to try it. If you make it here to just a tasting room, you have to try it.
I've had some rum in my day, and that's the best hot buttered rum I've ever had. If nothing else, you gotta try the hot buttered rum.
You gotta try the hot buttered rum. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
All right, so we got a little taste of this here. John, would it be cool if we took a jump out back to the distillery and take a look at what you got going on?
Show us where all the magic is.
I'll show you
done
guys
for
some
the rum.
barrels unlike what other people are using.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, let's take a peek
I'm
at
guessing
it.
they're square.
Yes. No, people are using square barrels.
Are they
There
really?
are. It's like a metal contraption you put staves in, and it's.
Look at you trying to be funny.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
You even know.
Somebody thought of your idea.
That's why I came out here to get
love it.
educated.
Well, let's hop out there and take a look at what you got going on.
Cool, let's do it. So let's talk about how we make rum. First step is we put our ingredients into the fermenters. Here we have 2 of our 4 1,100 gallon fermenters. It takes somewhere between 9 and 14 days for the yeasties to do their magic and convert all of those sugars to alcohol. When it comes out of here, we're somewhere between 15 and 17%. Because the strain of yeast that we use is an older strain, it's grown in a lab, it's a little unpredictable. The yeast itself came from the southern edge of Barbados. It's roughly 340 years old that they'd isolated it.
Nice.
So we have them grow that for us. And that was because originally I was trying to see what did rum taste like historically. And through experimentation, I can tell you, the yeast changes everything. What you get out of the still is directly responsible on the ingredients that goes in. We use cane juice, we We use a single yeast. We've tried others. Some of them came out tasting sweet, some like rocket fuel, some were absolutely undrinkable. I have a rum library. Maybe you should try some of the stuff. If I say try it and I don't pour me one, it's a good idea.
No, it's a setup. Okay, it's a good indicator.
If I have me one too, then you're good to go. But so this is where we start. We moved up to this building and we've ordered 2 more fermenters so that we can keep it going.
Very cool.
So any questions about the fermentation side?
Nailed it, man.
Perfect. Okay, so then from here it goes over to our big still. These are both pot stills. This 50-gallon one is the one that I had started the commercial operation with. The still that I inherited was literally a converted pony keg. That was what my great uncle was doing. You guys like Uncle John's. If you notice on the bottle, there's a picture of that still and a picture of my great uncle. When he left that still to me, I didn't really want it because everything that came out of it he was using was cheap yeast, cheap table sugar. It just tasted horrible. His philosophy was flavored in the bottle or in the jar, and it was fine for him to drink. For me, I didn't know how to make rum. I was a whiskey drinker, right? So when I figured out how rum was originally done in pot stills, I was like, well, I have one of those. So let's give this a go. And so I sourced the ingredients. I didn't want to use modern yeast. I don't use molasses because molasses is not made today the way that it was back then. And that's why I use cane juice. Originally, I was using a frozen cane juice. Now I'm using, it's a freeze-dried product, but I did a side-by-side and what came out tasted identical to me. So freeze-dried is more economical. I can ship it up in a truck, reconstitute it, and it's, you know, the same flavor profile. So that's what we do. That's how we make cane juice rum in Oregon.
Very cool.
So the 50-gallon still, we still have it, even though this is not good for our current production line. We use this to make another product that I'll talk about in a minute.
Okay.
So it comes from those into this. This is a 400-gallon stainless steel still. Try to say that 7 times fast. This was built by my buddy Roddy in his garage, which is awesome. We are probably, you know, part of what I say is we make world-class rums with the simplest of equipment. And nothing could be said further than that. I mean, those are simple fermenters on a large scale. This was built by my buddy. It's basically a giant kettle, goes into a cone, comes out of the line arm, which has a 2-degree down bubble, then comes through our condenser and the rum comes out the bottom.
Amazing.
That's it. When you drink Uncle John's, what you're getting is everything that we keep that comes out of this still, and then it goes right from here over to the bottling station and we bottle it, label it, and send it on its way. It's basically an hour old in the bottle. You can't get any rum younger than Uncle John's.
That's as real as it gets right there.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, after that we do some other stuff with dilution or we do aging or what have you. Before we talk about the barrels that we age in or the staves that we age, after our run is shut down, we harvest the next 50 gallons. So we're taking the top part of the heads. So we throw away the 4 shots. Then we take the heads and the top part of the hearts and we collect all of that for Uncle John's. The bottom part of the hearts, the top part of the tails, we take the next 50 gallons of our run, because 50 gallons is what'll fit in that. And then we use our old still and we make queen share. So we distill the queen share in this run. Out of that run, we get roughly 55 to 60 gallons per every time we run it. Then we get 17 gallons of queen share out of the last part of it for a grand total of just about 70 gallons per run. When my other 2 fermenters get here, we'll be able to run 5 days a week, 72 gallons.
There you go. We're pumping rum.
That's the idea. Okay, so when we take the product out of there, we come over to the aging, which is over here. I've got a static display. We use a couple of different types of barrels, and then we also do stave aging for our short-term product, because when I first started out, I mean, we're self-funded, I couldn't afford barrels. So we were using food-grade barrels with just toasted staves put in it. The product's popular, so we carry on with that, and we continue to do it. We also do barrels. These down here at the bottom are an American white oak. They're a number 3 char. We have a code system, 43C. Oak and 04 for barrel 4, that's barrel 6, barrel 2, barrel 1. Up here at the top, we have the please don't touch barrels.
I was gonna say, it seems like you have a leaking problem on top here.
Those barrels are made out of 100% pure sugar maple wood. They're a number 3 char on the inside. They're heavily waxed, which doesn't really, well, I guess it helps, but you can see the amount of dripping.
It helps.
So this is because of a mistake. I didn't know that you couldn't make barrels out of maple. When I was first making rum for my own self, I put it in these little tiny barrels off of Amazon, and it came out tasting like whiskey. I didn't want whiskey. I wanted a rum that tastes different. So I read that Woodford Reserve was finishing their bourbons in a maple cask. Okay, so I went and got some maple wood, toasted it in my oven, smoked out in my townhouse, put it in a jar, filled it up with rum, let it sit. Turns out it was really good. So then I go and call all these cooperages. I need barrels made out of maple. They're like, we don't do that. It can't be done. Heard all kinds of stuff. Finally, I got a hold of a cooper on the East Coast, and he's like, yeah, we'll make them. They're gonna leak, we're not gonna guarantee them. I'm like, what can you do about the leaking? He said, well, I got a couple of ideas, we'll see what we can do. And even with all that they've done to try and keep them from leaking, we still lose 40% in a 2-year period.
Okay.
Wow.
But that is the best rum I've ever had in my life after just 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? And now we're also playing with reusing the barrels for some of the Queen Share stuff. These barrels are predominantly what we put our Queen Share in. These are used wine barrels that we got from local wineries, and we got them the day the barrels were kicked. These are obviously just some of my barrels. Most of my barrels are at my farm in a shipping container because you want that heat exchange, whereas in here inside the distillery, it's pretty much static. So we rotate our barrels out so that we can keep that aging process going. This barrel down here is part of our Syrah release that'll be coming out later. It's a Syrah that was 4 years old in the barrel when we got the barrels. The vintner took the wine out. We had the barrels wet. We filled them up with Queen Share, let them sit, see what happens. Pretty good, not gonna lie.
Nice.
These up here are from the Willamette Valley Vineyard. These are a 7-year Pinot Noir barrel, meaning that the Pinot was in the barrel for 7 years. The day they emptied those barrels, we put corks in them, brought them back to the distillery, and started filling them up. This, don't get me wrong, this is yummy, but these are something special because even in the short period of time, these are starting to overrun the Syrahs. So I'm eager about the Queen Share that's coming out. So these are basically our aging processes other than the staves. Once we get done aging it, we deem it ready to go. We take it to our highly sophisticated, built by me bottling machine, which is right over here.
Take a look.
Right. So this was basically modeled after an old style milk filling station.
It looks familiar.
Okay, it uses a vacuum pump to draw the air out of the bottle, and we have some nice homemade tubing that we put in our mixing container where we pull out the rum using vacuum and fill our bottles. We typically have four different types that we can do at a time. We have the maple, the oak, a spiced, and a blackberry, and we have the machine set up label-wise for each of those, so we can just keep going as we go.
Love it.
There we go. From the bottles, we go over to our highly sophisticated manual labeling machine.
Just gets more sophisticated.
I know. This is awesome.
Hey, but we're real time because we put our stuff
You're on
in
the
just
box.
the
You're on
Just
the
a box.
Just the box.
I love
So
it.
that's it, boys. That's just rum in a nutshell.
I love it.
You know, we
That's
are
awesome.
growing by leaps and bounds. Obviously, we've needed to expand our equipment. I think we'll be in this building at least 3 years, no more than 5.
Sure.
And I think we'll be in a new facility where we'll probably have to up our still size. Currently, we're at electric, but I think if we go beyond 400 gallons, we really need to move over to steam. It's just economies of scale, you know?
Sure.
Show you the size. I mean, these are our big fermenters. These two are 350 gallon fermenters. Okay, this was what we were using 18 months ago. So we go from this to that, and then 2 more of those. And it's all just about, you know, we're gonna run out of room here. I put 2 more of those here. I don't have room to do everything at one time, so.
I love it.
Cool.
That's exciting.
amazing.
That is very exciting. So, John, thank you very much for giving us a tour and explaining to everyone what you go through to make your rum. I mean, you have a fabulous product.
Absolutely.
And thank you very much for sharing all that with
Cool.
us.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, the goal was to make it as close to what it was done originally. And
Yeah.
all I had to go on was documentation that I could read from old manuscripts.
Sure.
You know, it had pot stills. They didn't describe the pot stills. I know there's lots of different ones. The more I learn about rum, I know that there are different stills, different shapes of stills. Everything has a different flavor.
Yeah.
Okay, I went with something that was very, very simple, and I made a rum that's very, very good.
I love it.
That's all I can do.
This has been
Keep it
absolutely
simple.
amazing. Letting us come in here, check
Yeah.
out what you got going on, be able to share this with everybody. Obviously, you guys are up and coming. You're doing some amazing things, and we're just super pumped about it.
It's
New
gonna
and
be
up and coming rum.
exciting to watch you grow and expand.
I mean, you have already grown so much, and seeing this expansion right here is just one step of many that is just really cool. And so if you guys are looking to find more Just Rum products, you got to go to justrum.com, check out their
it
website.
out.
If you're in Sandy, Oregon, you got to stop by the tasting
by
room.
the tasting
Make sure
room.
you
It's
come hang
amazing.
out with them and have a drink, have one of their amazing cocktails.
Get a
that they
hot butter
have.
rum.
We do
Absolutely
good hot butter rum.
Right? It's
do.
one of the, it is the best hot buttered rum I've
It
ever
is
had.
the
The
best.
old fashioned's not bad.
The old fashioned's great. All the cocktails
Yep.
are great, but I'm coming back for like Christmas. Like I'm gonna be back here drinking.
Thank you, fellas.
No, we appreciate you letting us come
Yeah.
hang out. Make sure you guys check out that stuff. We appreciate you tuning in, hanging out with Just Rum for a little bit, and we hope you guys are having an amazing day. With that, Royer, let's get them home safe.
Always drink responsibly. Never drink and drive, and no rum to harm during the making of this video.
We'll see you guys later.
Take care.
guys.